in terms of what I've heard, let me just say that, because Mark, you said something that I think is important to drill down on. You said that, increasing to 350 means, $14,000 additional dollars. That's actually spread over 3 years. So it's not going to be $1,000 a month that people see. I mean, that's going to be truly broken up over the course of 3 years, and that's assuming that we go with the current structure of how the bill is drafted. I know there are other motions out there for extending that time frame. So again, it's that kind of conversation that when people hear that and they say, oh, well, of course I'm supporting this. This is going to mean $14,000 more for me, this year. And I'm going to be, no, that's not what it means. It's very small, and it doesn't have necessarily the impact that I'd like to see it have when it comes to a family really trying to make a go of things. I think that a lot of this is going to get eaten up by inflation and other kinds of things that are out there. Councilmember Hucker mentioned about choices for employers, and that's been one of my concerns all along. You give people choices and you start forcing them to make difficult decisions, and those oftentimes don't benefit the people who need it the most, who need those chances. When you start restricting people's options, it tends to restrict the flexibility that it has on those individuals who need those opportunities the most. I will just say that, look, Councilmember Hucker brings up a great point. That's the reason why I still have concerns about the minimum wage. I still have concerns because, just as he argued and says that, it's not necessarily benefiting all the folks, exactly. My point exactly. The minimum wage itself, in its context, doesn't benefit all of the young people who I want it to benefit. There is no silver bullet. The challenge is, and I continue to come back to this because it's incredibly important and it needs to be in the context of this conversation, is that, yes, we're rushing forward and moving forward with this minimum wage piece, but, keep in mind, we've been at the same point. The chair brings up about the presentation of the additional money for our police. Keep in mind that's additional money. We also increased our police force. We increased the number of police. We increased the police budget, just like we did HHS and PYD. So from that perspective, the argument, everything's all the same. So when you increase one, you should increase the other, right? But if we're already still having a conversation about, well, we need to increase the police. And yes, we already did positive youth development stuff. Well, yeah, we also increased the police. So why shouldn't it be an automatic knee-jerk reaction that we increase the positive youth development, health and human services aspect in terms of prevention? Just a simple conversation that we're having here about justifying and making sure that both of those happen is exactly the reason why I have the concerns about doing the minimum wage without doing the other things, without that commitment that's there, without that automatic knee-jerk reaction to say, of course we need to do these things. It shouldn't be that I'm like, hey guys, we need to do these things, we need to make this stuff happen. It should have been a part of the proposal. It should have been the acknowledgement that I know these things are going to be an issue, I know they are an issue, and they need to be a part of the proposal. But it wasn't there. That's my issue.